If you're constantly taking screenshots on your iPhone, then you're definitely going to want to watch the rest of this video. I'm going to teach you how iOS 26 changed screenshots on the iPhone forever and how to make the most out of it. Stick around, I got you covered. I'm Dylan Stewart, the MacWhisperer, and in today's video we're going to learn how to take screenshots on iOS 26. Make sure to stick around for my MacWhisperer power tip, because as amazing as screenshots are, this power tip is going to kick it up a notch and make it that much better. Let's hop on in and get started. Screenshots have been an important tool on the iPhone since the very beginning. Whether you're taking a screenshot to capture a calendar event, or something you saw on social media, or even a recipe for that great chicken marsala, there's a lot of reasons why we take screenshots. But with iOS 26, screenshots got a major upgrade, and I can't wait to tell you all about it. Before I do, if you'd like to follow along with today's lesson, scan this QR code or jump over to the description section to download your free SmartGuide. Our SmartGuides give step-by-step visual directions to make it easy to learn everything we're going to talk about today. Before we learn how iOS 26 has changed screenshots, let's talk about how you take a screenshot. There's two basic ways to take a screenshot on most iPhones. The first way is by using the buttons. When you press the volume up key and the right side button simultaneously, like this, your screen will flash and you will get a screenshot that shows up as what's called a floating thumbnail in the lower left-hand corner. If you do nothing, that thumbnail will slide away and save itself into your photo library. But there's another way that you can take screenshots without even using your hands, and that's by using our friend Siri. You can trigger Siri by pressing and holding the right side button or using the magic words, or when you do, if you simply ask her to take a screenshot, she'll do it, just like this. Take a screenshot. And there's our floating thumbnail in the lower left-hand corner. If you tap on the floating thumbnail, it'll expand outwards into a full screen view where you can make edits and adjustments. But iOS 26 has an important change where you have an option to use the floating thumbnail or to jump right to this full screen view. Let's hop over to Settings and talk a little more about it. Open up your Settings app here and head over to the General section right here. You'll notice a brand new section called Screen Capture, and this is where you can control how screenshots work on your iPhone. Inside this section, you'll see the option for full screen previews. It's turned on as a default for most new devices. When you have it set to full screen previews, instead of getting the floating thumbnail like this, which pops up on the bottom left and then slips out of way without you needing to do anything, you get a very different experience. Turning on full screen previews, when you snap that screenshot, you'll go into this page where there's a ton of tools and a ton of ways to edit that screenshot and save it so that it doesn't clog up your photo roll. But in some situations, you may want to turn off the full screen previews and stick with the floating thumbnails. The plus to the floating thumbnail is that you can take more screenshots at a time because you don't have an extra step to save them. If I come in here, I can take this screenshot, it'll float right over there, and then I can open up another page and take this screenshot and it'll float right over there, and I can continue to take screenshots rapidly without worrying about additional steps. But unfortunately, sometimes we need to do work on a screenshot after we've captured it. Maybe we need to edit it or annotate it. Maybe we want to copy it and send it to somebody without saving it in our photo roll. By turning on the full screen preview setting, all of those tools are available. We'll talk about them in just a moment. And right below that, we have an option for automatic visual lookup. We'll talk about this more in the power tip, but with the latest version of OS 26 and a current iPhone that has Apple Intelligence, you can take a screenshot and immediately ask ChatGPT about that screenshot, or use Google or other apps to find items from that screenshot. It's a powerful tool that we'll get into more during the power tip, but I recommend leaving that on if you have Apple Intelligence on your device. Below that, we've got an option to choose the format that screenshots are captured in. We've got SDR, which is the standard screenshot format we've had before iOS 26. It's good quality, but it's really meant for a quick, small screenshot, not something that's got a high resolution. But if you choose HDR as your option, your screenshots will be larger, but they'll also be a much better resolution, allowing you to capture those images from your phone perfectly, even if you need to use them on a larger device like an iPad or a computer. Whatever you choose is up to you. If you take a ton of screenshots, I'd leave it on SDR so you don't fill up your phone. But if the screenshots that you capture need to be used in other places, such as on an article or in a Substack, and you want the best quality possible, I recommend choosing HDR. So with those settings set up, let's talk about how to use the full screen screenshot mode in iOS 26. I was looking up memes on Safari the other day when I came across this meme about Apple versus Android. And I thought to myself it would be really fun to send that meme to some of my Android friends. So the first thing I'm going to do is take a screenshot by pressing the top volume button and the right side button just like this. Because it opens right into the full screen view, there's a ton of things that we can do with it. Most notably, I can crop it. If you look at this screenshot, there's information beyond the meme that I captured. That's going to be confusing to send to people. So by using the bars on the bottom, left, right, or corners, you can resize your screenshot to grab the part of the image that you're interested in sharing and keeping. Once you've got it set, you can easily send it, share it, or do all sorts of things. The ability to quickly crop that screenshot in iOS 26 is so valuable, but it's just the beginning of what this full screen screenshot tool can do for you. First off, let's go to the upper left-hand corner here where we see the X. Did you take that screenshot by mistake? No worries, you don't need to clog up your photo roll with it. Press the X and the screenshot will be released and it won't get captured into your camera roll. Up on the top, we've got our share button. Clicking on the share button can allow you to take that screenshot and airdrop it to someone, text it to somebody, email it to someone, or add it to many different apps. The nice thing about sharing right from the full screen mode is that it doesn't save the screenshot in your camera roll. Think about that for a moment. How many of the screenshots that you've captured were things that you wanted to send to somebody else and didn't want to stumble across 6 months later while you're looking at family pictures? Screenshots can really get in the way when they get saved indiscriminately onto your phone. By using the share button here, you can circumvent saving them to your camera roll and just send them to the person you wanted to share them with in the first place. In addition to that option, if we click on the checkbox in the upper right-hand corner, we get a ton of tools. We've got a button that will save this screenshot into photos, if that's where we want it, or to save it into our files. Our files synchronize across iCloud through all of our devices. So I could save this into files and pull it up from my desktop of my computer or from my iPad through the Files app. Down below that, we've got the option of adding it to a quick note. If you took this screenshot because you needed to capture some of the information and pass it on to a different app, one of the fastest ways to do that is to add that screenshot to a quick note, just like this. It'll get saved in your notes program and you can access it at any point to pull that image somewhere else or copy the information into one of the other apps. By saving it to Quick Notes, you skip several steps and you still don't need to dump it into your photo roll to be deleted later. And down below that, we've got an option called Copy and Delete. I can't tell you how often I use the copy and delete function because frequently when I take a screenshot, it needs to go into another app right away. So by clicking Copy and Delete, it will copy the actual screenshot itself, allowing me to go into any other app and just paste it right down. Once again, it doesn't land in my camera roll, so I don't have to delete it later. And lastly, at the bottom of the checkbox list is the ability to delete that screenshot right away. Maybe you've done what you needed to do with the screenshot, or maybe it was an accident and you didn't mean to capture it in the first place. As soon as you click that Delete Screenshot button, it's gone and you can move about with the rest of your day. There's another very powerful tool inside of the Screenshots app, and I'd like to show you how to use it. Here I was looking for different shirts that I wanted to buy. Some of these are good, some of these are not great. I wanted to ask my wife her advice. So let's take that screenshot with the top volume button and the right side button just like this. As soon as it opens up, notice the toolbar at the top. Here, we've got our markup icon. The markup icon shows up all over Apple devices, and it's an easy way for you to annotate, add text, add notes, add shapes, and tons more. I'm going to click on the markup tool here, and you'll notice that down below I get a palette of tools. We start with tools like the pen. If you tap on any of these tools, you will get additional controls, including opacity, as well as how thick the pen will write. Let's make this even thicker. You can also change the color in the bottom right-hand corner by clicking right here and choosing from any of the colors on the grid, in the spectrum, or on the sliders. Personally, I like to use the grid. I think it's the easiest way to find the color you're looking for. Let's grab a nice yellow. And now let's click the X button on the colors screen. With the pen selected, I can draw right on the screen, circling the one that I want and crossing off the ones that I'm not interested in. I can send this screenshot to my wife by clicking the share button and selecting her from the list up above. But there's much more that you can do with the markup tool beyond scribbling on that screenshot. I'm an avid reader, and when I read a passage that catches my attention, I'll pull my phone out and I'll take a quick picture of that page. Then I'll grab a screenshot of that picture. Once the screenshot opens up, I'll click my markup tool on the top toolbar here, and I'll grab the highlighter. This will allow me to highlight the section of the book that caught my attention. Then when I look at that picture later on, rather than having to read back the entire page, I can focus specifically on the section of the book that caught my attention. Using the highlighter is a really powerful part of markup, making it easy for you to focus on specific words or specific parts of a document. But it's still not the only tool we've got. If you continue to scroll to your left, you're going to notice a ton of additional tools, including the crayon, the pencil, the fountain pen, and even a couple of paint brushes. Remember that you can change the color anytime by clicking on this little circle here and choosing from any of the colors you see. But even that's not all that markup has to offer. Because if you look over to the far right side, you're going to see this plus button. And this plus button has some really awesome tools in it, like this. First off, you have the ability to add any stickers that you've created from your photos. Stickers are a fun way to express yourself and also a fun way to get the point across. Let's add a sticker here. It'll pull up my sticker list, grab this one right there, and we can come right in and position the sticker right where we want it to go and save it right there. Stickers are one of the other tools in the plus button, but there's more there too. Clicking on it, you'll see the ability to add text. Maybe you want to write a note to yourself or the person you're sending the screenshot to. Easy to do. Click Add Text here. You'll get your text box, which you can move around with your finger. You'll have formatting tools under the A's, allowing you to change the font, the color, the style, or the size. And you can make that text as big or as small as you need to. On top of that, under the plus button, we also have the ability to add shapes. Let's click on this to see our options. You can choose from many different shapes like squares, circles, triangles, stars, and arrows. Simply put your shape there, position it where you want, and don't forget that you can change the color, the style, and the size at will. When you're working with arrows, you can even bend them by grabbing the green ball here and moving it anywhere you want. I have a quick power tip for you here that's going to make it even easier for you to make shapes with markup. For this, we're going to come over to our pen, and I'm going to draw a square. But when I'm finished with the square, I'm going to hold my finger at the end. Holding it there will tell Apple that I want them to fix the square and make it look better. Let's go ahead and do it. Notice how it aligned that square perfectly and I didn't need to go into the Shapes tool in order to do it. These auto-corrected shapes work for basic shapes like squares, or triangles, or circles. You can even use it to draw a perfect star just like that. The ability to auto-correct shapes when you're drawing them means that it's easy to draw that arrow without having to go into a separate menu to find that shape. It's a very helpful tool, and I use it more often than I use the Shapes button. But there's one more powerful tool hiding behind Markup's plus button, and that's the ability for you to add a signature to any screenshot or any document. Simply clicking this button will pull up your existing signatures and allow you to put any one of those signatures onto this document or create a brand new signature. This makes it easy for you to sign that document right from your phone without any hassle, without printing, and without scanning. Super simple, and those are the tools that exist inside of the Markup toolbar within the new Screenshots app. One of the reasons I take screenshots regularly is to grab the text directly off the screenshot so I can put it into another app. For example, I really liked this quote, but I'm lazy. I don't want to type it up myself. Somebody already did that for me. Let's take a screenshot with our two buttons. And this time, we're going to press and hold into the screenshot where we can select any text we want, copy it, and paste it into any app. This means it's so simple for you to grab what you need out of the screenshot rather than saving the screenshot. And once I've hit copy on that, I can click my checkbox to save this to Photos, save it to Files, save it to Quick Note, or more likely, delete the screenshot altogether. And now I can come right into my Notes app, create a new note, and drop that quote right in without even having to save the screenshot. The tools that exist under that checkbox are really important because sometimes you want it in Photos, and sometimes you want it in Files, and sometimes you only need it for a moment, and sometimes you can copy and delete it. So don't overlook this piece because it makes it much easier for you to capture that information without having to save it into your photo roll. You probably thought we were done with the screenshot updates for iOS 26, but you'd be wrong because Apple added a very necessary feature into screenshots this year, and I want to show you how to use it. It's called a full page screenshot. Sometimes we're on a website, like this one on Safari, and I want this entire article. I don't want to bookmark the page. I want to capture the information so I can look through it at a later point. But if I take a screenshot, I'm going to get the first part of this page, which means that then I'll have to scroll down and get the second part, and the third part, and the fourth part. And it'll take me 3 days to take these screenshots, and I'm going to have 14 different screenshots in my camera roll, which is super annoying. Instead, Apple has a new tool. This tool existed for Safari in iOS 18, but they've expanded it. Here's how it works. Take the screenshot of that image, but up at the top of your page where it says Screen versus Full Page, flick over to the Full Page section like that. And instead of 17 separate screenshots, you'll get one long screenshot with all of the information that you need from the top of the website all the way down to the bottom. And you can also crop it if there's stuff in that image that you don't need. Clicking your crop button up at the top will allow you to bring it up a little bit and save part of the page rather than everything. It used to be that this only worked in Safari, but now it works in many of Apple's other apps, like the Notes app. If you have a note that you'd like to take a screenshot of, rather than taking multiple screenshots, grab the screenshot tool and change it over to full page. The full page screenshot tool works in Safari, in Notes, in Pages, in Numbers, in Mail, and in other Apple-made apps. Hopefully in the future, they'll expand that capability to even more apps. But I'm thrilled about what they brought with this and all of the other changes in iOS 26. So as you can see, Screenshots got a major upgrade with iOS 26. From the full screen capability to the ability to copy and delete a screenshot without saving it to your camera roll, and all of the other tools that we've talked about today. But you guessed it, there's just one more thing I want to talk about. Before I jump into my MacWhisperer power tip, if you've already gotten great value from this video, give it a thumbs up. That makes it easier for other people to find it. And if you've got a question, a comment, or you'd like to tell me about the weirdest screenshot you've ever taken, drop it into the comments section. I love to hear from you guys. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, you don't need a screenshot tool for that. Click the subscribe button and the notify bell so you'll always get alerted whenever I drop new content. And now, let's take a quick screenshot and jump into the power tip. The new screenshot tool in iOS 26 has so many features and functions that you might be surprised at how powerful this power tip really is. If you're running a phone with Apple Intelligence on it, through your screenshot tool, you can get what's called visual lookup. I'm going to pull up one of my screenshots here and let's take a look. Down at the bottom, I want you to notice that it already wants to summarize this document for me. Rather than reading your entire screenshot, Apple Intelligence can summarize all the pieces of it for you, making it easy for you to know what's on that screenshot without reading the entire thing. In addition to that, by swiping to the left here, you'll notice a read aloud function that will read this screenshot out loud to you, just like this.
This is why banks don't want you using ChatGPT.
And just like that, your screenshots got even more powerful. But we're just getting warmed up. Let's pull up one of my other images here. Remember the shirts that I was looking for? By using the search tool on the bottom right side, I can search Google or other websites for these shirts or shirts like them. Simply pressing that button and it'll search Google, eBay, Etsy, and even Pinterest. It's a valuable tool that means I can take a screenshot and immediately find that product off of any of those websites. But maybe I need to be a little more specific. There are 4 shirts on this screenshot. Let's circle the one we're most interested in, just like that. And as soon as I do, Google's found that shirt and multiple shirts like it, and I can go to eBay or Etsy for other shirts like it. That makes shopping for shirts so much easier for me because I can take a picture of one and load it right in. And you should also notice that down below, it knows what website this screenshot was captured from. Clicking on that will take me to that website, allowing me to shop for the shirt right from there. But it doesn't stop there. Here, I saw an event that I was interested in going to. Taking a screenshot of that event brings it right up. And notice what I see down at the bottom? That's right, add to calendar. Apple Intelligence has looked at this image and realized there's an event. And maybe I want to go to it. Clicking on the Add to Calendar button down here will show you all of the information that it's going to capture about this event, which includes the title, the location, the date, and the time. All I have to do is say Create Event, and then I can delete this screenshot. Remember, sometimes we capture screenshots because we want to put that information into our calendar. Well, that makes that much easier. This data recognition works with calendars, it works with websites, it works with phone numbers and email addresses to help you add people to your address book, to help you add events to your calendar, and much, much more. But we're still not done. Let's go grab a different image here, like this one right here. I'm going to go ahead and take a screenshot of it. And as it opens up, we can summarize it or have it read to us. But let's talk about the button on the lower left-hand corner. That allows me to ask ChatGPT specifically about the information it sees in this screenshot. It'll allow us to get even more information about how to do things just like this. When we first click the Ask button, it'll take a moment before it gives us a basic understanding of what's being shown in the picture. Now we can follow up either by typing our response in or by using the dictation microphone down at the bottom like this. I'm interested in setting up a series of prompts like this to bring my credit count down. Can you help me build them? And within a moment, it's given me a ton of information about how to build these prompts, and all of the information that it told me will now show up right in the ChatGPT app in the prior conversation section here, where I can ask additional questions or get additional information. That means that right from a screenshot, I can start a ChatGPT conversation that can make everything else easier and maybe bring down my debt while we're at it. There's a ton of fantastic tools right inside of this screenshot app. So whether you're going to mark up your screenshot, share it with others, copy and delete it, add it to quick notes, get information about the website, ask ChatGPT, or ask Google about it, everything's right here, and all you have to do is click those 2 buttons. So that's what we've got for today's video, all about how to use screenshots in iOS 26. Don't forget to grab your free SmartGuide by scanning this QR code here or hitting the link in the description. I hope you learned a ton in today's lesson, but remember, there's always more to learn. Check out this video over here for even more amazing Apple tips and tricks to make your Apple devices work better than you ever thought possible. I'm Dylan Stewart. the MacWhisperer, and I'll see you in the comments.